I bought this lot of phones for 229 Aussie dollars, or around 145 USD, consisting of 5 supposedly broken phones described as having various faults that cannot be listed, such as passwords, accounts, and broken screens. But these issues were nothing more than a general guide. Nothing was specifically mentioned about each device, so we've taken a chance purchasing these. We'll have to see firstly what we've received, its condition, and finally its value. Did we overpay or get a bargain? The first device was a Samsung A23. Second out of the box was this HTC, followed by a generic sounding Android phone known as the V Pro. We'll have to have a closer look at this one to determine who made it and its value. Second last and covered in tape is a gaming phone from ZTE, known as the Red Magic, released in 2020. And finally, a Sony Xperia 10 Mark III from 2021. Overall, it looks in good condition, other than the cracked screen. With the devices unpacked, we can see only one phone with a broken screen and another with a damaged back. What would you have paid for this lot, not knowing if they even turn on? What will determine their true value will of course come from testing them. So it's time to get them all plugged in and see what happens. The HTC, Samsung and Sony all light up to the battery charging screens, while the other two remain blank. After leaving them for some time, I came back to try and power up the two that didn't initially light up. Sure enough, they're now also charging. After about 20 minutes, I set about powering them all up. The Red Magic phone failed to switch on and returned to the battery flat screen, while I got nothing from the HTC. The V Pro and Sony reached the home screen, while the Samsung is locked with a pin. I tried the Red Magic phone again, getting the same outcome, thinking the battery may be the cause of the issue, but as they say, the third time's the charm. The phone powers on, but to another battery screen, which actually turns out to be Android. In settings, we can see this phone is powered by a Snapdragon 888 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and 256 gigs of storage. Its display is capable of refresh rates up to 165 Hz. You can also purchase gamer accessories such as cooling fans and what they're calling gaming headphones. Cosmetically, the display is in new condition under the plastic screen protector. The back, not so much. Looks like this gamer raged pretty hard. The frame is even bent. As for value, a used example in good condition can be found on eBay for $695 to just over $1,000. This one clearly needs a new back and probably camera. But even in its current condition, it's got to be worth the cost of the lot, $230. Repaired, I could probably get $400 for it, being conservative. It does have some marks around the frame which would impact its resale value. The second phone we'll take a look at is this mystery V Pro smartphone, a phone so pro it still uses micro USB. Just looking at its display, it's easy to tell this is a low-end phone. Navigating into settings, we can see its full model name is the Verone Pro 4G. It's running Android Go 12 and crashes every time I try and view the storage size. Google Files reports as it having 0 bytes free. But according to Vodafone's site, it has only 32 gigs of storage and sold for around $130. That, and considering it's probably network locked, it couldn't be worth more than $40. Network locked phones are very hard to come by in Australia. The only phones with network locks are usually phones that cost very little money, such as this one. I did clean it up and it is something I should be able to sell, although it won't bring very much money at all. I was curious though as to where the SIM card went, and it took me a little while to realize the back was removable. It has a user removable battery and micro SD card expansion. The battery being 3,950 mAh. The third device in this lot is a Sony Xperia 10 Mark III, and is the only device in the lot with a cracked screen. Screens are usually the most expensive part of a modern phone, which will likely leave little profit if we choose to repair it today. As the damage is only quite minor, it could be used as is. This is Sony's mid-range smartphone, which isn't sold in Australia, so I don't know how it ended up here. However, it's only about 2 years old, is upgradable to Android 13, and has 128 gigs of storage. Value-wise, I'd say as is, about $100, but a screen would set you back $171, and with resale expected to get about $400 to $450, I still think it's worth repairing. Our fourth device is this HTC Accord Windows Phone from 2012, no doubtably the least valuable phone in the lot. Not only is it 11 years old, but runs an operating system that was axed in 2017. The screen, while not cracked, has deep scratches. Earlier I was trying to power the phone on to no avail. As it turns out, the power button is not located on the side, but the top. Powered on, the phone works fine, but given its outdated hardware and software, I couldn't see it worth anything more than $25. I've never used the Windows Phone OS, but just looking at it, I dislike it. What's with all the lowercase text and cropped menu headings? A feature enabled by default was sending your browsing history to Microsoft. Now that's totally not an invasion of privacy. With that, there is only one phone left, this Samsung Galaxy A23. Another low-end smartphone, but as we saw earlier, it powers on, however, it's locked with a passcode. As we don't know what the PIN number is, we'll need to reset it. To do so, I'll first need to force restart the phone and then hold the power and volume up buttons. This has to be done while connected to a computer, else it will boot up as normal. Once I select the factory reset option, the device will now be reset to factory settings. Once set up, we can see we have another functioning device. Price-wise, many have sold on eBay for between $200 to $220 Australian dollars. I think it's easy to say we've made our money back with this phone lot. So this is it. A phone lot I paid $230 for, having now looked at each device and valued them in their current condition. I'd say sold individually, I'd expect to receive around 595 Australian dollars. I'd say I definitely got a bargain. And with a small fix to the Red Magic phone, I would expect to get another 170 on that total. That's not to say every phone lot will give you a return, but if you choose wisely, you might just be able to make a few dollars out of it. And on that note, this has been a Hugh Jeffries video. If you like what you saw, consider subscribing and check out the Tech Lot playlist for more videos just like this one. And if you're looking for any used devices, be sure to check out my online store, link for which is down in the description. That's all for this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.